Happy Friday, how are you? I am excited to be here and try and explain, like, where the hell am I? And since it's Friday, I'm going to try and do it in 5 minutes or less. Good luck. Right? Because, like, so much has changed for me. And I want to try and explain kind of where I am a little bit. So what I feel like, remember when we were talking about before the difference between speaking from here versus here, right? I didn't know you could also live here as well, right? And so I understood the difference of the resonance between this and this when speaking, right? And so it's just kind of transposing that and dialing up the volume a whole bunch, right? To not just have your thoughts get out of your head and into your heart, but your entire vibe, your entire being, your entire expression of self in the way that you are in the world. I mean, it's like, it's so crazy. And I'm just in awe of the difference in how you interact with the world, how you perceive the world. Right? There is one thing I want us to do before we move forward, because this is super important for you in order to follow along in some of this if you want to do some of this work yourself. Very important. You have to know your name. Doesn't that sound ridiculous? What's your name? My name is Dale. How do I know that? I know it because I know it. Right? It's no more complicated than that. And where most people get thrown off the tracks moving forward, and they'll spend an entire lifetime trying to understand how they know what they know. But it's no more complicated, or at least it doesn't have to be. It does not have to be any more complicated than how you know your name. When you know something, you know it. You can feel it. It's a truth. Lean into that. Trust that. Develop that. That knowing is everything for you moving forward. So that when you hit on something that's true or something that's untrue, you know it. And you know it. And you don't have to explain to yourself or to anyone else how you know it. You just do. You know when you know something. You know when something is true. You know when something is untrue. Right? We just have to make sure that it's not of the ego knowing. Right? That it's of the gut knowing. That you know it in your gut. Right? We'll be developing a way to communicate with that more. So you can learn to trust that always. So where I am as far as just, it's so ridiculous. Oh my gosh, it's so bizarre. Like I just catch myself like smiling all the time and it's so ridiculous. I mean, I've always been, kind of ridiculous anyhow, but now I just feel like, oh my gosh, it's such a game changer, honestly, to dial up the trust in what is to 1,000%. When I first discovered that, I was like, oh, this seems a lot like the mathematical equation, or it would be, or something similar, in order to describe the Christ consciousness. What people like that were demonstrating was 1,000% belief in Creator, in what is, in the universe. That's what they were demonstrating, right? That ultimate joy, that ultimate, conversation with, from yourself, of yourself to the universe, right? And that expression, and staying in that expression, right? All the time. And I'm just realizing, like, that's really the only thing you need. Right? Because when you're in that, when you're in just pure joy, and you're just resonating with pure joy, and you have the ability to dial that up or dial it down, and you're in control of that, I mean, Like, what else do you need? It's like, seriously, every day, go on vacation. Whoop! Right? And I'm shocked at how simple that equation is. That you can either be in fear or you can be in trust. And every time I feel myself moving off that mark from joy, I'm like, and I'm just always monitoring it and then just dialing it back up because I'm in charge of that, right? Can you put yourself in that state? Can you resonate with a trust level of 50% in the universe? Okay, what does that feel like? Well, okay, now what does 100%, trust in the universe feel like? And you can't get there without this happening. Right? I mean, it really is. I almost don't have words for it. Me, without words. I never thought I'd see the day. Right? But it's so incredible. And it really has shown me a path for, oh my gosh. I had this thought, this image of myself in the future that I'd never had before. It was yesterday in the car, and I had to pull over. I was just like crying and crying because it was like a vision of myself that I'd never held before, right? A vision of myself where my name is associated with joy, right? And not all so much of other stuff that I thought I was about, right? And to hold a space for that to be my future, for us to take leadership of what's going on now, and know that how we win is we just pride parade the hell out of this thing, honey, and we become the Pied Pipers of joy. And we lead in a way that's so attractive that people can't help but get excited and get on board, right? That's how we win. We win with the biggest Pride Parade festival you have ever seen, in a way that is more loving, inclusive on our part than ever before. That's gotta come from us. And so we can carve a path forward that rises above the ick and doesn't have us devolve into ego. That we can ride that wave, talk about the future, bring it into existence by talking it into this plane. Right? And we can bring about change in a big way. I mean, yeah, that scares me a little bit, but like, what the heck? Like, let's just go for it. Let's see if we can do that. Let's see if we can't, while still seated in joy and still seated in ourselves without being affected by everything else that's going on around us. Right? That we can have leadership and still be in joy. That's it for today. Thank you so much. I will talk to you on Monday. Bye. Ah!